What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing a scenario: what if the role players on all of these playoff teams switch teams to the team they're facing in the series, if that makes any sense. Right now this is being pre-recorded right before the Thunder and Rockets game 2 and the Warriors and Blazers game 2, so if the rotations are different, then I'm sorry, but let's go ahead and look at this. So the Bucks would have, and let's just in this scenario that every team's going to be healthy as well, so they'll have Corey Joseph, Norman Powell, Patrick Patterson, and PJ Tucker on their bench, and all these are 9-man rotations. So the Bulls have Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk, and Gerald Green. Cavaliers have C.J. Miles, Lance Stevenson, Glenn Robinson III, and Kevin Seraphin. So yeah, what would you guys think if all these teams, switch role players, switch benches basically? How would it go? Like, do you think a series would go differently if the role players were switched? Because I mean, I know a lot of people would be focusing on the superstars of the team, like Blake Griffin getting switched with Rudy Gobert or something like that. But what if the role players sometimes make a big big impact in series too? And this one's interesting because Pau Gasol does come off the Spurs bench, so Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol are teamed up in this one, so that would be interesting. The Hawks, they have Kelly Oubre, Jason Smith, Brandon Jennings. They get the Wizards bench. The Jazz have an awesome bench for Jamal Crawford, Maurice Bates, Paul Pierce, and Raymond Felton. The Pacers, Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson. I'm going to be kind of interested to see, what these records are going to look like, if anybody's records are going to look better because of the role players. But I wish I could just play this out in this the playoffs on the playoffs thing in this game, but you can't put custom rosters in those, or I would just do it that way, but sadly we can't. And the Rockets bench gets a lot worse with losing Eric Gordon and Lou Williams, and then the Spurs have Zach Randolph. The Grizzlies role players are pretty bad. Jeez, I was legit looking at the rotations, and this is what they've been rotating with. Eric Gordon, Lou Williams come off the Thunder's bench. That would be very impactful for the Thunder. Nene, Montrezl Harrell. Blazers, we're almost done here. They get Iguodala, they get JaVale McGee, David West, Sean Livingston. That would be interesting. And the Warriors get Alan Crabb, which is another scorer off the bench. Matt Barnes, Aminu, Shabazz Napier. And the Wizards, they get Ersan Ilyasova, Kent Bazemore, Mike Muscala, and Jose Calderon. So, I'll just pick a team to randomly simulate. Let's do the Cavs, I guess. So, what would you guys think? Do you personally think that scenarios would play out differently just based on if the role players, switch teams? I know, a few YouTubers, or maybe even one, I've only seen one, but did a thing where, what if the all-stars, like what if the superstars switch teams, but, what if the role players didn't? The role players play a big impact in a series too as well. Role players, like the X factors, like Bobby Portis. I think it was either game 1 or game 2. He dropped 19 against the Boston Celtics, and that helped the Bulls, get the game 1. Or I can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2, but He helped off the bench get the win. Role players are just as important as the superstars, if probably not more. I was about to say if not more, but definitely it makes a huge impact. And can we get 10 likes on this video? Will you guys like more videos like this where we do scenarios? I used to do what ifs all the time, but I'm kind of bringing it back a little bit. I just thought this would be an interesting video to do. See your guys' opinions. What would you guys think? Do you think anything would be different or not? Just let me know in the comment section. Definitely. The Cavs are still here. I mean, this is only 2K, and 2K simulations are kind of sketchy, but definitely the Cavs are 38-17, are still the first seed. Actually, they aren't the first seed in the East. By the way, the Celtics are not looking too good being the first seed, and I know it may have a lot to do with Isaiah Thomas's loss this week, and it's probably been a terrible week for him, but I hope and pray that they can turn around, because, well, I mean, not hope and pray for the Celtics, but I hope and pray that Isaiah Thomas, can get through this, because that would really suck. Losing a relative around this time would be very terrible, especially a sister at that young age. Man, that would suck. But just keep simulating, and we are almost done here. I'm very interested to see what team, what's the record we're going to be, and who will be in the playoffs. Let's see the rewards as well, if that will be any different or not. Russell Westbrook still wins MVP with all those guys coming off his bench as well. Joel Embiid still wins Rookie of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year goes to Greg Monroe with the Raptors, so that's interesting. Hassan Whiteside still wins Defensive Player of the Year. Jokic is what I like to say. Wins Most Improved. Steve Kerr still wins Coach of the Year. So, let's see. Westbrook, Harden, all these guys are playoff teams besides Pelicans. Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, all playoff teams here. Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas, and then there's Pelicans and Nuggets. So, all right. So, actually, the Timberwolves are the 8th seed. No Blazers here at all. So the Blazers didn't even make the playoffs here. I'm only looking at the Western Conference. I haven't looked at the East over here. The Bucks. I think the same teams made it literally besides the Hawks. Besides the Hawks, every team from the East made it. So that's very interesting. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. The Hawks did bad without their bench. 33-49. Bucks, Knicks, Pacers, Wizards, Celtics, Raptors. So Celtics, got the 4th seed. The Bulls got the 2nd seed. We're at the West. The Blazers went 34-48. That's oddly strange. I mean, that's really strange that that's what happened. OKC won 53 games. Clippers, Jazz still made it. So the Spurs didn't make it. Wow. Well, probably because the Spurs bench was pretty trash, because the Grizzlies bench was trash. So it doesn't really surprise me that much. Neither did the Grizzlies make it either. So, we're missing a whole series in here. So that's kind of crazy. Not really, I guess. Cavs, CJ Miles averaged 10 points with them. The Bulls, I'm looking for the role players mostly. Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart averaged 9. Norman Powell with 9. So I'm kind of interested to see what Rodney Hood averaged 14 off the bench. That's pretty good. Grizzlies. Pau Gasol averaged 11 and 10 off the bench. Hawks, they definitely missed their bench. Brandon Jennings. Bojan Bogdanovic averaged 14. Jazz. All right, everyone's 14. So most of these guys are just averaging 14. What did Greg Monroe average? He averaged 11 and 9. And he won 6th Man of the Year. But that's interesting. But let's go ahead and grind these playoffs. I'm just gonna simulate current round. No need to go game one by game. Let's see. The Jazz have been eliminated. The Pacers have been eliminated. The Wizards have been eliminated. Okay, a lot of these teams are getting eliminated. The Warriors and Houston Rockets. That's definitely going to be an interesting series. If that happens, OKC and Clippers. So, all these teams are actually in the Western Conference playoffs this year, and so are these guys besides the Knicks. So, I kind of wish the Bulls would have won. But, so here's where the real scenario goes down. The Rockets are missing Eric Gordon and Lou Williams, so that's going to be crucial. And then the Thunder have Eric Gordon and Lou Williams, or not. Yeah, they do have Eric Gordon and Lou Williams. So, let's see what would happen. The Celtics have been eliminated, and the Thunder were eliminated, and the Raptors. So what the hell are the Knicks doing? Like, why are the Knicks doing so good right now? That makes no sense. Warriors, whatever. The Cavs are probably still going to win. Golden State and Clippers. I think the Clippers actually have Joe Johnson and Ronnie Hood. So those are two pretty decent bench players right there. So that makes a lot of sense. Simulate current round here too as well and see what happens. Ooh, the Clippers took them to 6, and then it's the same scenario. The Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They still make the NBA Finals, so nothing really changes there. Let's go ahead and look at the Golden State Warriors playoff statistics. And alright, so nothing really special there. What about the Warriors? Allen Crabbe averaging 8 over here. Pachulia, Napier. Alright, so let's just see who would win the finals with their it goes to 6 games, no worse, still win the championship. Well, leave a like if you guys did enjoy, and make sure to leave a comment on what do you think it would change anything. 2K can't predict everything. I think it would change a little bit of things, but you never know with the NBA. Anything can happen. What we've learned in sports is that anything can happen. So, as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, if you're new here. And as always, guys, I just said as always, guys, twice. Now I said it 3 times. This is Crushables. Goodbye, guys. I'm saying peace.